Can you imagine what's happening inside your brain while you sleep after eating certain foods? What I'm about to reveal today could save your mind and your life. If you're over 65 and still eating anything after 6 p.m., you need to stop and listen. There's a specific group of foods that are literally destroying your brain while you sleep. And the worst part is, you probably ate at least one of them last night. I'm Dr. Alonso Puig, and for decades I've studied how our minds and bodies connect in ways that traditional medicine is only now beginning to understand. What I'm about to share isn't just scientific knowledge. It's an urgent warning that could determine whether you maintain your mental clarity for years to come, or gradually lose it. Take a deep breath with me now. What you're about to discover will completely change how you view your nighttime eating habits. It's no exaggeration to say that your future independence depends on what you learn in the next few minutes. There are exactly 5 foods that, when consumed after 6 p.m. by people over 65, create a silent, destructive process in the brain. A process that happens specifically during sleep, when you should be regenerating. I'll be straight with you. I'm not here to scare anyone. I'm here because I've discovered something that can protect you from one of the greatest tragedies a person can face: losing their mind. During my years of research, I've found irrefutable scientific evidence that our nighttime eating habits after 65 work completely differently than when we were younger. Our metabolism changes, our processing capacity changes, and most importantly, what happens in the brain during sleep changes dramatically. The tragedy is that most people discover this too late. When the first signs appear, forgetfulness, confusion, difficulty finding words, the damage has already been building for years. But you're here today, and that's no coincidence. There's a higher purpose to you watching this right now. At this exact moment in your life, let me tell you what happened to Evelyn, 68, from Miami. She came to me desperate because she was losing her memory rapidly. In just 6 months, she'd forgotten her grandchildren's names, got lost in her own neighborhood where she'd lived for 30 years, and could no longer follow recipes she used. To know by heart, Evelyn ate well during the day: fruits, vegetables, fish, olive oil, an exemplary Mediterranean diet. But every night, religiously, she made the same 5 dietary mistakes that were destroying her brain. The most shocking thing is that 3 of these foods are considered healthy by most people. Foods you probably have in your pantry right now. Foods you may have eaten last night, thinking you were taking care of yourself. When I explained to Evelyn what was happening, she didn't believe it. How could something she considered nutritious be causing so much damage? The answer lies in how our brain processes nutrients during sleep after 65. Do you know the difference between a young brain and a mature brain at night? A young brain has an extraordinary ability to clear toxins while we sleep. It's as if it has a super efficient cleaning crew working through the night. But after 65, this cleaning crew gets slower, less effective. And when you consume certain foods after 6 p.m., you're overloading a system that's already working at its limit. It's like dumping toxic waste into a river that can no longer clean itself. The result is build-up, inflammation, and gradually the destruction of the neural cells, most important for memory and reasoning. The first food on this cursed list is something that's present on the table of 90% of American families every night. Something you've probably consumed without a second thought. But when you eat this after 6 p.m. and you're over 65, you're creating a nighttime brain inflammation storm that will last all night. Nighttime brain inflammation is silent. You don't feel pain. You don't have immediate symptoms, but while you sleep, thinking you're resting, your brain is fighting a losing battle against the toxins you've introduced yourself. Think with me. How many nights have you felt like you didn't rest well, even after sleeping 8 hours? How many mornings have you woken up with a foggy mind, forgetting simple things you knew perfectly well the day before? This isn't age. This isn't normal. This is your brain crying out for help. The second food is even more treacherous because it's marketed as a wellness food. It's on supermarket shelves with labels promising health and vitality. But for people over 65, consuming this at night is like injecting a slow-acting poison directly into the brain's memory centers. Margaret, 71, from San Antonio, consumed this food every night for 15 years. She thought she was taking care of herself, following the advice she read in health magazines, until she started forgetting entire conversations she'd had that same day. When we stopped this specific food in Margaret's nighttime diet, in 3 weeks, she already noticed the difference. The mental fog that clouded her thoughts began to dissipate. She started remembering details again, regaining clarity of thought. But the most impressive thing was what happened with her sleep. For the first time in years, Margaret began to have vivid dreams again, dreams she could remember upon waking. This is a sign that the brain had returned to processing information properly during the night. You need to understand something fundamental. Your brain isn't just an organ that thinks. It's the command center of your entire life. It's what determines whether you maintain your independence, your dignity, your ability to care for yourself and those you love. When you protect your brain, you're protecting your identity, your history, your wisdom, accumulated over decades of life. You're ensuring that the person you are today continues to exist tomorrow. The third food on this list is consumed by millions of mature adults every day, especially at dinner. It's considered a healthy source of energy by many nutritionists. But what they don't tell you is that, after 65, this food turns into fuel for a degenerative process that specifically attacks the area of the brain, responsible for forming new memories. Imagine your mind as a giant library where all your memories are organized. This third food is like a slow fire, burning away the most important shelves of this library, one by one, night after night. Antonio, 69, from Barcelona, a brilliant engineer. He built bridges, designed buildings. He was respected for his precision and intelligence. But he started noticing he couldn't solve simple, everyday problems anymore. He forgot where he kept his keys. He mixed up names of people he knew. He got lost in basic calculations. What Antonio didn't know is that every night for years he consumed this third food, thinking he was nourishing his body. In reality, he was sabotaging his own mind. The science I've discovered is clear. After 65, our brains lose the ability to process certain compounds during sleep. These compounds, once harmless, now become toxic. They accumulate in the most delicate areas of the brain, creating plaques and inflammation that block communication between neurons. It's like having a phone conversation, and gradually the line gets static until you can no longer communicate. That's exactly what happens between your brain cells when you consume these foods at the wrong time. The fourth food is perhaps the most shocking of all. It's something 95% of people over 65 consume regularly at night, often on a doctor's advice. Yes, you heard that right. Something that may have been recommended by your own doctor for your overall health, but is silently destroying your cognitive ability. Evelyn, 73, from Miami, took this food every night before bed, following her cardiologist's prescription. She thought she was protecting her heart, and indeed she was. But nobody had warned Evelyn about what it was doing to her brain. 2 years, Evelyn developed such intense brain fog that she could no longer read books, an activity she'd loved since childhood. Words seemed to dance on the page. Meanings got lost in the middle of sentences. She thought it was natural, age-related deterioration. When we discovered the connection between this fourth food and Evelyn's cognitive decline, we immediately stopped nighttime consumption. Not completely, but we changed the timing and how it was consumed. In 6 weeks, Evelyn was reading. Again, she was understanding complex texts again. Her mind regained the agility she thought she'd lost forever. This brings me to the most important point I want you to understand today. You are not a victim of time. You are not doomed to lose your mental clarity just because you're getting older. Most of what we call natural age-related decline is actually the result of choices we make every day without realizing it. Your mind is like a garden. If you plant the right seeds in the right soil at the right time, it will flourish regardless of your age. But if you plant poison thinking, its fertilizer, you'll see everything wither around you. The fifth and final food on this list is the most insidious of all. It's consumed by almost 100% of people as part of their nighttime routine. It's so integrated into our culture that questioning its consumption seems absurd. But for people over 65, this food is like a Trojan horse. It seems harmless on the outside, but carries within it the destruction of what you hold most precious. This fifth food acts directly on the system that cleanses your brain during sleep. It's as if you blocked the sewer system of your house. Everything builds up, putrefies, becomes toxic, except this is happening in your mind. Robert, 67, a widower from San Antonio, noticed he was becoming increasingly forgetful after his wife's death. He attributed it to sadness, to natural grief. But when we analyzed his eating habits, we discovered that he had intensified his consumption of this fifth food precisely during the period when the forgetfulness began. Robert didn't make this connection because no one had ever told him that there's a direct relationship between what we eat at night and our ability to form and maintain memories. When we adjusted his nighttime diet, not only did his memory improve, his energy returned, his mood stabilized, and he regained the will to live that he thought he'd lost with his wife. Now I need to pause here and be completely honest with you. What I'm sharing isn't just scientific information. It's an urgent call to action. Every night that passes with you consuming these foods is one less night of real protection for your mind. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to wake you up to a reality that could change your life in the coming years. The difference between a lucid and independent old age and a confused and dependent old age may lie in the choices you make tonight in your kitchen. Do you know the difference between people who keep their minds sharp until they're 90 and those who start to lose themselves at 70? It's not genetics, it's not luck, it's knowledge applied consistently. I'm going to reveal the 5 specific foods you need to avoid after 6 o'clock in the evening. But first, you need to understand the mechanism behind all of this. Your brain has a cleaning system called the glymphatic system. It's like the sewer system of your mind. During sleep, especially between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., this system works intensely to remove all the toxins accumulated during the day. Misfolded proteins, free radicals, metabolic waste, everything needs to be eliminated so you wake up with a clear and functional mind. But when you consume the wrong foods at the wrong time, it's like you're clogging this cleaning system. Toxins accumulate, create plaques, inflame brain tissues, and gradually destroy the most important neural connections. The first food you should completely avoid after 6 in the evening is refined sugar in all its forms. This includes desserts, very sweet fruits, juices, sodas, and even that innocent artificial sweetener you put in your coffee after dinner. When you consume sugar at night after 65, your brain enters a state of hyperactivation at the exact moment it should be preparing for nighttime cleaning. It's like turning on all the lights in the house when the cleaning system needs to work in the dark. Margaret, 66, from Austin, had the habit of eating a sweet dessert every night while watching television. A habit she'd cultivated for 40 years. She couldn't sleep without her nightly indulgence. But gradually, Margaret began to notice that she was waking up tired, even after sleeping well. Her concentration during the day was getting worse and worse. Nighttime sugar was creating blood glucose spikes precisely when Elena's brain needed stability to regenerate. Result: chronic inflammation in the areas responsible for attention and working memory. When Elena completely eliminated sugar after 6 p.m., within 3 weeks, she experienced something she hadn't felt in years, waking up with a truly rested mind. Her ability to focus improved dramatically. She could once again read for hours without losing concentration. The second food you should avoid is any kind of refined carbohydrate. White bread, pasta, white rice, potatoes, cookies, everything that quickly turns into sugar in your body. These foods create a phenomenon called cerebral insulin resistance. Your brain literally loses its ability to use energy effectively. It's like having a car with a full tank, but the fuel can't reach the engine. 72-year-old Diego from Santander was a fanatic for a plate of pasta at dinner. For him, the day didn't end right without his generous portion of pasta. Diego had no idea he was literally poisoning his brain every night. Refined carbohydrates at night, especially after 65, create an inflammatory cascade that lasts up to 12 hours. During all that time, the brain is fighting inflammation instead of regenerating and consolidating memories. Diego started noticing he could no longer remember conversations he'd had the day before. Names of acquaintances slipped his mind. He attributed it to age, but it was actually a direct result of his nightly food choices. When we replaced Diego's dinner pasta with vegetables and light proteins, his mental clarity returned in less than a month. He regained the ability to form and maintain new memories. His wife was impressed by the change. The third food you should religiously avoid after 6 p.m. is heavy proteins, especially red and processed meats. Yes, I know this goes against much of what you've learned about nutrition, but let me explain why. Digesting heavy proteins requires a huge amount of energy that your brain needs for its nightly cleaning and regeneration functions. When you force your body to expend energy on digestion, you're stealing vital resources from your nervous system. Furthermore, poorly digested proteins at night create toxic compounds called putrescines and cadaverines. These compounds cross the blood-brain barrier and accumulate in brain tissue, causing chronic inflammation. 69-year-old Manuela from Bilbao was in the habit of eating a large steak for dinner. She thought she was strengthening her muscles and bones. Manuela didn't know she was overloading her digestive system at the most critical time for her brain's health. The heavy protein at dinner was causing a phenomenon called nutritional leukoencephalopathy. Manuela's brain cells were literally starving for energy while her body spent everything digesting the meat. Manuela began having episodes of mental confusion, especially in the morning. She felt like she was seeing life through a thick fog. When we changed her nighttime protein to light fish or eggs, the fog completely dissipated. The fourth food, and this will shock you, is milk and its derivatives consumed at night. Yes, that warm glass of milk that many consider relaxing before bed may be destroying your cognitive abilities. Milk contains casein, a protein that after 65, our bodies have extreme difficulty processing at night. Poorly digested casein forms compounds called casomorphins that have a narcotic effect on the brain. It may seem like milk is helping you sleep better, but it's actually creating artificial sleep without the deep phases necessary for brain cleansing. It's like taking a sleeping pill every night without realizing it. 74-year-old Pilar from Granada had been religiously drinking her warm glass of milk for 50 years. It was a sacred ritual from her childhood that she maintained. Into adulthood, Pilar couldn't sleep without her nighttime milk, but gradually, Pilar began to have increasingly fragmented sleep. She woke up several times during the night, and in the morning, she felt like she hadn't slept at all. Her memory began to fail worrisomely. The casein in the milk was preventing Pilar's brain from entering the deep phases of sleep. Precisely when the glymphatic system works most intensely. When we eliminated the nighttime milk, Pilar returned to having restful sleep, and her mental clarity returned. The fifth and final food you should avoid is any beverage containing caffeine, including stimulating teas. This includes coffee, black tea, green tea, chocolate, and even some medications that contain caffeine. Caffeine has a half-life of 6 to 8 hours in the bodies of mature individuals. This means that if you drink a coffee at 4 in the afternoon, you'll still have 25% of the caffeine circulating in your blood at midnight. Caffeine not only prevents deep sleep, it completely blocks the functioning of the glymphatic system. It's like putting a cork in your brain's drain pipe. All the toxins accumulate, creating a toxic environment for your neurons. 68-year-old Joaquin from Murcia was addicted to coffee. He always had his last cup at 7 in the evening watching the news. Joaquin thought that a cup at 7 didn't interfere with his 11 o'clock sleep. He was completely wrong. The caffeine from 7 o'clock at night was sabotaging Joaquin's entire brain cleaning process. For years, toxins accumulated in his brain until he began to show clear signs of cognitive decline. When Joaquin completely stopped caffeine after 2 in the afternoon, his transformation was impressive. In 6 weeks, he regained a mental clarity he hadn't had in years. His reasoning ability returned to what it was a decade before. Now you know the 5 foods that are sabotaging your mind. Refined sugar, refined carbohydrates, heavy proteins, dairy, and caffeine. All consumed after 6 p.m. by people over 65, but knowing isn't enough. You need to act, and you need to act today, tonight. Every day you postpone this change is one more day of cumulative damage to your brain. I'll now give you the exact formula of what you should consume at night to protect and regenerate your mind. Pay attention, because this could change your life in the coming years. First, light proteins like grilled fish, boiled eggs, or a small portion of skinless chicken. These proteins provide the amino acids necessary for neurotransmitter production without overburdening digestion. Think of it like a highly efficient cleaning crew getting the job done without making a mess. Second, leafy green vegetables like spinach, arugula, and chard. These vegetables contain magnesium and folate, essential nutrients for the functioning of the glymphatic system, the brain's own cleaning system. Imagine a river constantly flowing and clearing away debris. That's what the glymphatic system does for your brain. Third, healthy fats like olive oil, avocado, or nuts. These fats nourish the membranes of neurons and facilitate communication between brain cells. Picture this: a well-oiled machine running smoothly and efficiently. That's your brain working at its best. Fourth, calming herbs like chamomile, valerian, or lemon balm in tea form. These plants prepare the brain for restorative sleep without interfering with the cleansing processes. It's like preparing your brain for a good night's rest, letting it shut down and reboot for optimal function. Fifth, plenty of pure water. Hydration is crucial for the functioning of the glymphatic system. Drink water throughout the day, but stop a couple of hours before bedtime to avoid interrupting sleep. Think of your brain as a vast library, needing proper care to maintain its books and keep everything running smoothly. Evelyn, Carmen, Margaret, Antonio, Elena, Diego, Manuela, Pilar, and Joaquin. All these people recovered their mental clarity by following these guidelines precisely. It wasn't magic. It was science applied consistently. You don't have to suffer from cognitive decline. You don't have to accept memory loss as a normal part of aging. Your mind can remain sharp, clear, and functional, regardless of your age. The difference lies in the choices you make today, in the decisions you make tonight, in the commitment you make to yourself to protect what you hold most precious. Your identity, your memory, your ability to be yourself. When you apply these changes, you're not just protecting your brain. You're securing your future independence. You're preserving your dignity. You're keeping alive the unique and valuable person you are. Your family needs you, clear-headed. Your grandchildren need your wisdom. The world needs your experience. Don't let poor dietary choices rob you and those who love you of that. From today, you have a clear choice. You can continue sabotaging your mind without realizing it, or you can become the vigilant guardian of your own lucidity. Write in the comments which of these 5 foods you'll eliminate from your nighttime routine first. Share your story. Share your concerns. You are not alone on this journey. And if this knowledge resonated with you, if you felt that finally someone understands your concerns about the aging mind, share this video with people who need to hear this message. Each person you reach with this information is a mind that can be saved from unnecessary decline. It's a family that can keep their loved one lucid for more years. In the next video, I'll reveal the 3 secret signs your brain is sending when it needs urgent help. Signs that 99% of people ignore until it's too late. Don't miss it, because your mental life may depend on it. Remember, you are not aging, you are evolving. And a protected mind is a mind that can continue evolving for many, many years. Take care of yourself. Protect yourself. You are worth far more than you imagine.